God bless you. God bless you, Emery, and thank you for coming.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
And like I always say, Emery, this is your channel. This is the uncle and nephew channel on YouTube. To be clear, and put that in your wallet.
I always do.
Okay, nephew. Uh, I'm gonna say I'm gonna be as brief as possible because I want your complete input and I want your complete analysis on the topics that I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
The main topic of tonight is we must respect women part 2 because last night was part 1 and tonight is part 2. We must all respect women. That is the main topic. But before I get into the topic, I want to touch some things. I'll be as brief as possible because your opinion, nephew, your opinion is very important because this is your channel also. I want to be clear. Welcome, Miss Bella Rose. Welcome, Miss Bella Rose, and her beautiful grandson Isaiah, and welcome Minnie the Moocher.
Hi, Minnie.
Minnie the Moocher, executive producer of this channel. Minnie the Moocher. Minnie, you better come one day to the panel, or else I'll have to take you to court. A big hug for Minnie, and a big hug for Bella. And as a gentleman, we kiss Bella on the forehead, and we kiss Minnie on the forehead under the federal rules and regulations. God bless Bella and God bless Minnie, and thank you for coming. Okay, first, the women that you see in the photo in the introduction. My respect to all them fine ladies. All them ladies were of the cast of the hit series on VH1, The Mob Wives. That I used to watch it because that program was very entertaining. Out of all the ladies, that they're all beautiful, they're all very attractive, and to be clear, all the women of Mob Wives, they are strong-minded women, and I say this with respect, women of iron balls, women with iron balls. To be clear, not that they have, not that they have iron balls for real, but they are women with character. They are women that are strong, and if any men mess with them, they will kick your ass good. That's the kind of women that I admire because my mother was a strong-minded woman, and all my aunts were very strong-minded women. So me personally, being that I grew up with strong-minded women, I admire women like that. I think all women should have a strong character. That way they can protect themselves from men that harass them. There is no room in this world, listen to me carefully, everyone. There is no room in this world for weak women because weak women, men that are not honorable, they will prey on them. Strong women, men that prey on weak women, if they meet a woman that is strong, they they will not mess with women that are strong. So to all the women that are listening to me, that we have in our chat family, and also there are women that are listening. Time to stand up, time to be strong, and this is very important. If you are harassed on YouTube, if you are harassed outside of YouTube, go to your nearest police department and file a complaint and follow it through until it gets to the court.
Yeah.
That is the best advice that me, as a father and a grandfather and a responsible husband of over 46 years, and I'm married to the same person. That is the best advice that I can give the women. If you are harassed on YouTube, if you feel harassed, go immediately to your nearest police department and file a complaint. Because the problem on YouTube or on Facebook or on Twitter or on Instagram, a woman is harassed, and then what many do, they start responding to the harassment on YouTube. You're not gonna do nothing. Nothing good is gonna come out of that, because by you doing that, you also are becoming a harasser. You see?
Yeah.
If I am harassed, and if I am harassed, no matter if you're a man or a woman, if you are harassed on YouTube and then you start harassing back, you both are guilty of the same nonsense, and it will not stop. It'll just be a back and forth for all eternity. And we must be. Go ahead, Elmarie. What?
We've seen this happen on YouTube.
Right.
Men harass women and their families, and
Right.
it go back and forth, back and forth.
But the only way, and we must be clear, because we must get out of this fantasy. A lot of people on YouTube live in total fantasy and totally disconnected from the real world. And to be clear, welcome to the real YouTube. YouTube is part of the real world. This is not fake. I repeat, if you are harassed, instead of responding on the different channels, go to the police department and file a complaint and follow it through to the court. And you will see your harasser. I guarantee it. If you follow through your complaint, you will see your harasser in court, and he will have to face a judge, and the judge will decide a fine or prison time. That is reality of the real world, and YouTube is real. Okay, getting back to the distinguished ladies of Mob Wives, my respect to all the ladies that appeared on that program. Out of all the ladies in that program, my favorite, me as a viewer, as a TV viewer, my favorite was Big Ange. May she rest in peace. I posted her photo yesterday on yesterday's telecast. She appears on this photo also, extreme to the left. And to be clear, all the ladies of Mob Wives, they are all beautiful. They are all beautiful, and they are all intelligent, professional women. To be clear, we must be clear. All the women that appeared on that show, the Mob Wives, don't mistake. They very professional, very business savvy, and women of strong character. So God bless them all. They have my total respect, all of them.
And she passed away, Uncle Edwin.
Right. Big Ange.
Yeah, she passed away. God rest her soul.
Right. Big Ange passed away. She was my favorite of all of them. She was my favorite, And to me, the most of all of them, the most beautiful and the most attractive and the one with the biggest heart. I wish Emery that she was alive and she would be with Angel Gotti and she would be with Miss Angel Gotti on her show. That would be a great hit.
Yeah,
Uh,
she seemed like a. No, I didn't watch it a lot. I've seen a few clips of it and stuff. I'm not a really big fan of the show, but she seemed like a real nice lady, and she had a big heart. She seemed.
right. My respect and blessings to Miss Angel Gotti always. Our utmost respect and a kiss on the forehead for Miss Angel and for her daughter. Her daughter is going to have a baby. So Miss Angel, you will soon be receiving from the uncle and nephew channel. You will be receiving soon a truckload of Pampers. You're gonna need a lot of Pampers. And on a later program, I will be giving baby tips because I am a certified grandfather. You know something, Emery? I always say this and save this in your wallet because one day, Emery, one day you will also be a grandfather. And a lot of our distinguished Jack family members will one day be grandfathers and grandmothers. There's a lot of grandfathers and also grandmothers, but mainly grandfathers that see their grandchildren every 6 months, once a year. They go to the gas station. Can I have a candy? One little candy. Here, here, grandson. Here, granddaughter. Here's candy. And then, listen to this, Emery. Then they take their fists like King Kong. I am a grandfather. I am a grandfather. No, you are not a grandfather. You are just a man that went to the gas station that you didn't see your grandkids for over a year or 6 months, and you bought them a cheap candy. And then you expect your grandkids to call you grandpa. Let me tell you, Emery, nephew Emery, and all distinguished chat family, there are a lot of grandfathers that are like that.
Yeah, see, I never. I met one of my grandfathers, but he died when I was 2 years old. My other grandfather was murdered before I was born. They shot him in the head. So I really didn't grow up with a grandfather. Really, like I said, my grandpa died when I was 2. The other one was murdered in '74. So I never had a grandfather. I had 2 good grandmothers, though.
That's good, Emery. Emery, and our distinguished chat family members. I say this humbly, with all humbleness, if anyone asks me for proof, I have the proof. Like they say on YouTube, I have the receipt certified. I'm a real certified grandfather. Why? Because the moment my grandson was born on 2002, my granddaughter was born in 2008. As soon as my grandson came out of the hospital, they brought my grandson in a beautiful basket, to my house.
Oh wow!
And he's been there since 2002 up to this minute that he is now sleeping. And also my granddaughter. I am a grandfather 24/7. Emery, and I say it humbly, when my grandson started pre-kinder, being that his mother and being that his father, which is my son, both work, because because in today's world, young couples that are married, the world is so expensive that two people have to work.
Yeah.
That's reality of life. Uh, that's no matter the young couples, the 90 I would say 99% of the young people that are married or that live together, because a lot of young people nowadays, they don't get married legally.
No.
They live together. But here on this channel, to be clear, I believe in marriage with a license. With a license. I do not believe in people living together. That is just my opinion. I have a granddaughter. You want to sleep with my granddaughter? There must be a marriage license and a big expensive wedding. If not, you will not sleep with my granddaughter. That's the way I think until I die. But that is just my opinion. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell everyone, I uh, I took I took my grandson and my granddaughter to school since the pre-kinder all the way to high school every single day. Because why? Because my son and my daughter-in-law, they both work. So being that I have flexibility, because I've been in where I work at, I've been in the company almost 40 years. I've been in the same company. So I have just a little, I have little privileges which I do not abuse. Uh, the company I represent, they gave me the permission to take my grandkids every day to school. They gave me permission at 12 o'clock to go to the school again to check my grandson and my granddaughter. And then at 3 o'clock, when they used to come out, I used to go and get them to take them uh, to my wife, because my wife is an official housewife of the 1940s.
God
Because
bless her.
thank God, and I give thanks to God that my wife is a certified housewife, like the women used to be. But that's just something personal. But uh, but but the world has changed, and now people that get married, sadly, the women have to work. But that is sad, and I'm going to tell you why briefly. When kids are young, when kids are born, when they're babies, and they're in grade school, even if they're in high school, all children need their full-time mother at all times, or they need a full-time grandmother at all times, because no one loves children like the mother that gave them life, and no one loves and grandmothers adore their grandchildren more than their original children.
Yeah, I
That's
get
the way it is. And I can testify, and I can testify that in a court of law, because that's the way it is. Because I am a certified grandfather. So and when my wife used to go to her doctor's appointments, I changed the pamper of my grandson and my granddaughter.
Oh, God bless.
Why? Um, why am I saying all of this? To get back what I said in the beginning, there's a lot of grandfathers, and there are also grandmothers that see their grandchildren one day out of the year or one day out of 6 months, and they buy them a little cheap candy. And they say, look how much I love my grandson and granddaughter. I give them candy. No, you're a bad grandfather. You're a bad grandmother. You haven't seen your kids once every 6 months. Them people that do that, they do not deserve the title of grandmother and grandfather. That is my opinion. If you want to be a real grandfather, if you want to be a real grandmother, you have to see them. You have to see your grandchildren and get involved in their lives, because your son, your daughter needs your help. They need. Let me tell you, young couples need the help of the grandfather, of the grandmother. Why? Because if you take your young kids to there's people that work at there's how do you say that? There are places that you take your kids, that way they can take care of your children. That is horrible. That's how. Go ahead, Murray. Go ahead.
You're speaking of daycares.
Right. That's where kids get molested.
Very true.
That is reality. If parents find a decent daycare for kids, it's a miracle of God.
It's a miracle.
99% of them, I would just take a shotgun and shoot them all. May God forgive me. Because what they do is they take your money. When your babies have dirty Pampers, they'll change them when they feel like changing them.
And they'll let the other kids beat up on them too. And stuff.
Right. There is no supervision whatsoever. To be clear, they are good ones, but you have to find them with a magnifying glass.
Yeah, there's a good point to that. I could say my sister ran a daycare for about 13 years, but all the people, she knew them. Like all of her clients were either family or people she knew her whole life, and she was well respected and known in the community. Everybody knew her. But she was like one of the very few daycares that people, and she had a real good business for a long time. And then she just got sick of it and stopped. But she ran a daycare for like 13 years, and she would tell me stories about other daycares getting shut down because one little kid would bite another little kid in the face. And like she was on top of all of her kids. Like they had routines. She wouldn't take their eyes off them for a minute because little babies get in fights and bite other little kids. She used to tell me a lot of stories how other daycares got shut down and stuff like that because of things like that.
And very important, Emery, very important to all the parents that are listening to me, that are listening to us, Emery, all the parents that are listening to this telecast, if you have a baby, if you have young kids that they have to be taken care of in them daycare centers, before you give your kids, your beautiful kids, to these places, investigate in your state and local.
Yeah.
All these places must be licensed by the state, and you have the right, when you go, you have the right to say, let me see all the licenses. All the licenses must be up to date.
And you got to make sure there's no which guys are around there or young boys. You can't trust people, like you said. Daycares are a lot of places where kids get touched and bad things happen.
Right.
So you got to investigate and do your due diligence on whatever place you decide to put your kid. I would never personally use a daycare, me personally, in case my sister was around, then I would. But I'm not having any kids anytime soon, anyways. But if I did, I wouldn't use no daycare. I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it.
And very important, Emery, to all our fine parents out there with young kids, if you go to a daycare center, if you see any old men working there, that is not the place to leave your kids. Because no old man should be taking care of kids. It should be, this is my opinion, young ladies, no men should be taking care, no males.
No.
That is just my opinion, because I'm very, very old-fashioned.
No, I agree with you. That no man should take care of a little girl at all, in case it's her dad.
Right. The staff should be grandmothers or young mothers.
Yeah.
Taking care of young kids. And I want to stress this. Before you sign up, let me see the licenses. If they do not want to show you the license, just walk out. Walk out. There are find the daycare center that all the licenses are on the wall, visible to the public, and let's say that I have a new granddaughter or a grandson, and I have to register that little baby in a daycare center. First, I want to see the licenses, and first I want to walk through. I want to see all the rooms. I want to see how these rooms are clean. If they're clean, I want to see the bathrooms. I want to see everything. That's what you have to do when you give your kids to someone.
Oh yeah, if you trust in your future of your child with somebody,
right.
You better know who you're dealing with.
So Emery, thank God that my grandchildren never had to go to that, because Mother Jimenez took care of them since they were babies. Nice. And Mother Jimenez is still taking care of a 20-year-old.
God bless her.
And I say this with pride, Emery and Chat family. If my grandson, which I tell him 100 times, you're big already. If you want a sandwich, make it yourself. But he forgets, Emery. He forgets. Every time he wants a sandwich, Mother Jimenez, can you make me a sandwich? Mother Jimenez goes, makes him a sandwich. Mother Jimenez, can you give me some Coca-Cola? Mother Jimenez brings him everything. And he's 20 years old still. That's the kind of grandparents that we are. We are grandparents 24/7. And one more thing, Emery, before I get out of this topic.
Yeah.
Okay, once a baby is born, and this is to all the parents, once a baby is born, as soon as he or she is born, baptize the baby. When I was born, and I have the certificate and everything, when I was born, I was baptized 10 days after I was born. 10 days. Nowadays, many parents, they don't even baptize their children.
Yeah.
No matter the religion that you are, consult with your pastor, consult with your rabbi, consult with your priest.
I was
And if you,
baptized real fast too. I don't think it was a week or something, and I was baptized. It was fast
right,
because my grandmother considered if a kid wasn't baptized, they were considered like animals. Like you
right,
be
right.
baptized.
Your your grand Emery, with all due respect, is your grandmother still alive?
No, I lost one of my grandmothers in '91, and I lost one of them in '93, both from cancer.
Okay, Emery,
And my
when,
grandfather, and I, like I said, my grandfather was murdered, and the other one took a heart attack. But
okay, okay. So God bless, being that you mentioned them, and every time we mention someone that has passed away on YouTube, we must say this: May God bless their memories. May God bless Emery's grandpa and grandmother and grandfather.
he
God
was
bless their memories.
he was a world. He fought in WW2 and everything. He fought in World War II. I still have his flag. I never met him, but I have his flag and his picture up, and we keep his memory alive and stuff. But he was murdered in 1974. They shot him in the back of the head. So I
I
never.
see, I see. Well, may God bless his memory. And I know that your grandpa and grandfather and your dad are in heaven. Amen.
Oh, amen to
Don't
that.
everyone remember when you mention a person that had passed away, have the courtesy of saying God bless their memories. Because I hear a lot of people mentioning people that have passed away. Hey, God bless their memories. God bless their memories. Okay, this is very important, Emery, and I want you to put it in your wallet. And everyone in the chat family, because one day, Emery, if God permits, you will get married and you will have a daughter or a son.
Oh,
And everyone,
I don't want no daughter. Maybe a son one day. I'm not sure, but I should have had them when I was younger. I had my opportunities, but I didn't. But
but
I don't
but
want that.
Emery, to be clear, you are young. You are still young,
Yeah.
and also you are part of my family, and you are my nephew, and I am your uncle, and you will be married by Christmas if God permits. Okay, okay, people that have newborn babies, they always get uh, if they baptize them, they always get a godfather, and they always have a godmother. If you choose, listen to me carefully, if you choose a godfather, and this has nothing to do with the mafia, let us be clear. I'm not talking about Don Corleone. I'm talking about a regular godfather and a regular godmother. Make sure, make sure the person that you choose as a godfather and as a godmother, these people involve their lives with your children. Because what happens is, Emery, that people choose a godfather. He'll be godfather for that day only.
Yeah, I know.
Your kids will never see him,
Yep.
and the family will never see him again.
Yeah,
That's not a god.
I'm a godfather twice. I have two godsons, and I'm very much involved in their life. I always have been, and I always will be involved in their lives. I love them to death. They're the closest thing I have to kids, and I have their report cards on my refrigerator, drawings out there. They're older now; they're 12 and 13. But when they were little, they used to sleep over on the weekends. You know, because I grew up with their mother and father. We were childhood friends with their mom and dad. The dad passed away, but the mother's still alive. So they used to spend the weekends at my house a lot. We used to set up little dioramas. I used to teach them their prayers, all that stuff. But they don't still do it no more and keep it up, sadly, because they moved to Florida a few years ago and they just came back now. So I'm very happy that they're back up here. But I wish they never went to Florida though, because I couldn't really see them that much. We talk on the phone and stuff, but I really couldn't do what I did when they were up here before. But now they're back, so that's good.
And let me tell you something, Emery. I had the honor of seeing the photos of your godkids, and there are beautiful children. May God bless them.
Yeah, they're good kids too. Good kids.
So the most important thing that I want all the future the most important point that I want to get across to our distinguished audience, if you plan to baptize your kids, get a responsible godfather and godmother. And also, at least the Catholic Church does this. People that are going to be godfathers and godmothers, now they have to take a class, which is good.
Yes, it is good.
That is,
take a class.
Yeah. Even and I also took a class because I am the godfather. I am the godfather of one of my neighbors when they did their confirmation, and I took 3 nights of a class.
Me too.
To be a responsible godfather.
Me too. I actually went to classes at St. Rocco's Church when they were born to be a godfather and stuff. And the priest would give us tips. They would say, never try to be the parent, you know what I mean? And precede the parents and all this stuff. They gave us a bunch of tips on things. And it was good.
The most important thing, don't pick people that are just going to be the godfather and the godmother just because they look nice in photos.
Yeah, or someone who's your friendly way. You got to know these people. These people are going to be, God forbid you die. These are the people who are going to raise your children. So you better pick right. You better know that they're people with a constitution that are going to stick by them. And I bet you they're good people. If not, you pick somebody you don't know real well. You're not friends with them a year down the line. They're not going to give a crap about your kid. Right. You got to pick a good godparents.
Hey, Marie, what you just described right now, that is the true meaning of being a godfather.
Yeah, it's a huge honor. Like, that was one of the greatest honors ever bestowed on me. Like, when they asked me to be godfather to the first baby, then the second one. The babies were like Irish twins. They were born 11 months apart. So they're like, hey, you're godfather to the oldest guy, why not to the little one? It was a huge honor. Like, it really touched me and meant something to me. And it means something. Like, I love those kids. And every Christmas, every birthday, I'm on point. I always get them things. Like I said, they used to stay at my house. I taught them to play baseball. I really love them to death.
And then, Marie, let me share this with you and with our chat family. And to be clear, this is not a joke. But if you really analyze it, let me tell you, the movie The Godfather, Don Corleone, this is my own opinion. If we really analyze Don Corleone, he was an excellent godfather.
Yes, he was.
And let me tell you why, Emery. But this is not a joke. Let me tell you, Don Corleone was a godfather that we should all strive to be. You know what it is? That your godson comes to you and tells you, Godfather, I need the part in that movie because that movie is going to make me famous and I will be economically stable. You know what's that? That your godfather is willing to cut a horse's head and takes it to the director and leaves it under his pillow? Now that is true love, Emery.
It really is. Besides the joke, it really is, though. You know, he's willing to do that, and for his godson, he really loved him, and he took that role as a god parent. It's right to what it's supposed to be. You know, you do anything for you. They're like your kids in a way. You know.
To be clear, I am using a metaphor. But the next time, and this is an advice, the next time you need a godfather for your kids, just ask your godfather, are you willing to cut off a horse's head for our kids? Okay, enough of the humor. Okay, that topic is gone. Okay, Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
I want to send best wishes to Kane Shades.
Yeah.
I hope he is better, and I hope he comes back soon because I miss Kane Shades on YouTube. So God bless Kane Shades, and I hope he comes back. And if he is listening, Kane Shades, come into the chat. As long as I know that you are the real Kane Shades, we'll have you on the panel. Anne-Marie, send a blessing and message to your dear friend Kane Shades.
Oh yeah, Kane, we're keeping you in our prayers, and get well soon and recover, brother. God bless you. We miss you.
Let me tell you something, Anne-Marie. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna post it on my bulletin board, on our bulletin board. I'm gonna post the photo of the Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you know what I'm gonna do, Anne-Marie? Anne-Marie, you know what I plan to do? I'm gonna put the photo of the Terminator, but the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. And I'm gonna say, Kane Shades is coming back, but this time he's coming back as the Terminator. See, this is my opinion of Kane Shades. Kane Shades is to me, this is my own opinion. Kane Shades is a nice person, a gentleman, very soft-spoken, and just a good guy. He's a nice person. But this time, he's not coming back like that. He's coming back as the Terminator. So God bless you, Kane Shades. That's my personal comment. Okay, so we got Kane Shades. God bless the memory of Big Ange. Okay, wait. Hold on, Anne-Marie, hold on. Okay, Anne-Marie, I'm gonna explain this the most brief I can, because we must be clear. See, because there's a lot of people on YouTube, Anne-Marie, with the utmost respect, that sometimes they give information that is not correct. And instead of orientating people properly, they give people the wrong information. And then we have a lot of misinterpretations. But before I do that, Anne-Marie, please give a roll call to all our chat family, Anne-Marie.
Kid Rock, what's up? Carol, how you doing? Crazy Purple. What's going on? Who else? B1, how's it going? Minnie the Moon, Brooklyn Bound, Syndicate. Who else we got in here? Jason, American Made. Looks like we got a full house. So Bella Rose. Who else? That's about it. We grabbed everybody. Welcome everybody to the channel. They said, Edwin, I was on your panel and we prayed for Laura. She has died. R.I.P. Laura. That's the girl from the Dirkleverse. Yeah, sorry for your loss of your friend. What a shame.
Anne-Marie, can you repeat the name again, please?
Laura passed away. I don't know her though, but it's Crazy Purple Lady's friend.
Okay. Our utmost respect in the name of God and the Holy Mother, the Virgin Mary. Bless her soul, and we send our respect to her family.
Yeah, amen.
Marie, and
Yes.
Chat Curry, this is very important. This is a very important topic that I'm going to touch real brief. There's a lot of people on YouTube that say, and I mention him with the utmost respect, and may God bless his memory. A lot of people that do not 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 research, that do not do the proper research, they say this comment, and this comment is incorrect. And I want to be clear. They say John Gotti Sr. John Gotti Sr. destroyed destroyed the mafia, the American mafia.
And that's not true.
Right. That is not true. And I'm going to explain why it's not true. The people that say that, I would suggest they do research, real research. And to be clear, being that I mentioned the name of John Gotti Sr., may God bless his memory, and my respect to the Gotti family, my respect to Miss Angel. And I mentioned her dad with the utmost respect. Okay. Mr. John Gotti did not destroy the mafia. The mafia started getting destroyed in the early 60s. No, in the late 50s. First, that big meeting they had in upstate New York.
Yeah, Raymond was there. Yeah, that meeting exposed them. Yeah, Raymond was at that meeting. And they blamed Gotti for that because he was on wiretaps. You know how many people were caught on wiretaps? Informants ruined the mafia. You can't blame it on one guy. That's ridiculous.
No, again, I must repeat, whoever says on YouTube or anywhere else that John Gotti is responsible for the downfall of the five families is completely disconnected, and must start reading and doing serious research. It started in the late 50s with the meeting that Emery just mentioned.
Appalachia.
In Appalachia.
Yeah.
In Appalachia, that's in upstate New York. And then we have this, Emery, in the early 60s, when I was a little boy, Mr. Joe Valachi.
Yeah.
Mr. Joe Valachi, also, may he rest in peace. Mr. Joe Valachi went on public television. Back then, it was the first time they had a Senate hearing on organized crime on all the channels. And at that time, I was just a little kid. But the first one that got all the publicity and that gave all the information about the American mafia was Joe Valachi. So now we have two incidents that opened the door to the underworld. Now this is the most important, Emery. This is the most important, and no one talks about it on YouTube. Professor of law of Harvard University, Mr. G. Robert Blakely.
Oh, Blakely.
He was the one that drafted the RICO law.
Yeah.
That was approved by the U.S. Congress in 1970.
Yeah.
Again, the great, and I believe this gentleman is still alive, but he must be very elderly, if I am not mistaken. Again, his name is G. Robert Blakely. He is a very distinguished professor of law of Harvard University. For those that do not know, Harvard University is in Boston. It is one of the most prestigious universities in the whole world. One of them, because there are many, but Harvard University is one of the most prestigious universities in the world, especially if you graduate from Harvard. Uh, they have the best law school in the world.
Yeah, and he did that. I remember Rudolph telling me that Valachi and all that stuff was the downfall of Cosa Nostra, and they caught so many people on wiretaps. The government's got resources out there. You know what? They've wiretapped so many bosses before. They got resources that are you can't do nothing about it.
Right, but the most important thing, the person, listen to me carefully, Anne-Marie, the person that really brought down the underworld, Mr. G. Robert Blakely, and I'm going to tell you why. He was the one that drafted the RICO law, but that was in 1970. It was approved by the U.S. Congress in 1970 and signed by President Nixon. May God bless his memory. You see, a prosecutor, in order to prosecute a defendant, must do it by law.
Well, I do think the RICO law is unconstitutional, in my opinion. I think it's unconstitutional because all you got to do is say hi to somebody and lie and say they're a member of a crime family, and they go to jail.
Well, you have the right to have that opinion, but the only way, Emery, the only way that you can fight that, you would have to take that case, a certain case, and have a constitutional lawyer, and take it to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I wouldn't win for sure, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. But I want everyone on YouTube to be clear. John Gotti, may he rest in peace. Mr. John Gotti Sr. was not responsible for the downfall of the 5 families of New York. The one that drafted the law, because without that law, a district attorney can only prosecute you by the laws that are written. We must understand how the law works.
Yeah,
are we clear, Emery?
Yes.
Emery, I want you to be honest with me. Have I just explained it clearly?
Yes, you did explain it clearly. I believe that the RICO Act definitely hurt it, and informants, lying rats, and the RICO Act definitely destroyed it. You can't put all the blame on Gotti. That's ridiculous. Just because the guy got wiretaped, so many bosses have been wiretaped. Like I said, the government can break in your place at any time and put little bugs. It's ridiculous to blame one person for that. It's stupid.
Right. The people that do that, they must do their research and stop saying things that are not correct.
Well, they do that because they're a bunch of informant lovers.
So ending this important topic, I hope everyone is clear, because we must be clear. If we have the privilege of having a channel, I tell all the distinguished people that have channels activated, if you are going to have a channel, do the research, give the right information. Do not give false information.
Another great point Mikey makes. Rudy Giuliani, that scumbag. I'm not a fan of Giuliani, he used the RICO Act, and it was a legitimate law, like Edwin said, passed through the bills and all that. Even though I believe it's unconstitutional, it's still a law. And yeah, Giuliani used that, and that moron Joe Bonanno, who I cannot stomach, who wrote that stupid book, who got all his old buddies indicted with that book. Giuliani took that book and indicted all the bosses. Like, they should have killed Bonanno years ago. I don't know why they let that guy live.
And then Marie, and ending this topic, may God bless the memory of John Gotti Sr. And to be clear, but let me tell you something, Marie. I as a man, because only God has the right, and me as a Catholic, only God has the right to judge Mr. John Gotti Sr. But let me tell you, in my opinion, only God knows the things he did, but that's between him and God.
Well, Gotti was a good guy. Gotti Sr. was a really good person. His neighborhood loved him. They loved the guy. He was a good guy. Most of these people don't like hearing it, but most of these mob bosses are really good people. Like, I've had personal friends that, well, they're dead now, but they were mob bosses. They were really good guys. I grew up around them personally. I didn't know these New York guys. I'm a Providence person, but like, look at Gotti's neighborhood. They worshipped him. They loved him. Like, that tells you everything about the guy. So much respect to him. He kept his mouth shut. He was who he was. He suffered the consequences that he chose in life, and he was a man's man. You got to respect that.
Right. That's the point. To be clear, Emery, the point you just made, that was the point. That was the point that I was going to make.
Yeah, he was the real the guy.
Right.
Listen, he could have got his own island. If he told on people, they would have gave him an island. He would have done a year in prison. He would have never got that cancer. He'd still be alive today, probably, on an island. He was who he was, and he was a man of integrity and walked it to the end. And God bless that.
He walked the walk, and he stood loyal until his death. Like in the streets, that is a man of honor.
Yeah, he's always even like in Providence, everybody always respected Gotti. Always, he always had the respect. My uncle liked Rudolph. Always had respect for him. Everybody had respect for him because he was who he was. He didn't go flipping on people, nothing like that. You don't find many people. Look at that scumbag Messino, Joe Messino, what he did to people. Oh my God, rotten.
There's a movie that says, this is the life we chose, and the only way out of it is the gun, the knife, or in prison, or in a box, period. So
yeah, that was the case back then. Nowadays, I've known guys that retired. I've known guys, Raymond Jr., who's actually a personal friend of mine. He retired. You know, he didn't tell on nobody, didn't hurt nobody. He went and did his time. He came home. He retired. And he's alive to this day, up in Lincoln, doing very well. R.I.P. to his son Chris that passed away a year and a half ago. But Raymond's still alive to this day. Never told on nobody. Never sat down with no federal agents. None of that stuff, and retired. And everybody still respects Raymond. They might call him the dopey Don and all this stupid stuff. It's all bullshit. The guy's smarter than anybody else, actually. Very smart man, very good man, too.
So, Marie, ending this topic, again, I say, God bless the memory of Mr. John Gotti Sr. Amen.
Yeah.
Emery, I want to touch this also, and I want your opinion.
Okay.
This is my opinion, and it's something that should not be happening on YouTube, because what I am going to explain, this is overloading This is overloading the system of YouTube. Just hear me out, and I want your opinion.
Yes, sir.
People, see, in my case, I only have one page on YouTube. That means I only have one channel. That is all I have. And I will always have one channel until I die. There are many people, I'm talking in general. This is just my opinion. There are many people on YouTube. One person has 4, 5, 6, 7 channels. Another person has 10, 12, 30 different avatars with 30 different names and 30 different pages. Now check this out, Emery. That is like, this is just my opinion and I want your input.
All right.
This is like in my house, if I take an extension cord that has only 3 openings and I plug it in the wall. But instead of putting 3 plugs, I invent and I put 10 plugs. You know what's going to happen, Emery? That I'm going to have a short circuit, and I might cause a fire in my house. Okay, in the case of YouTube, people that do that, people that have over, let's say, have over 10 IDs different, they have over 5 or 6 channels different.
Well, you mean accounts? You mean sock accounts? That's what you're saying.
What they're really doing, that YouTube, Emery, YouTube should eliminate that. But that's my opinion, because what they're doing is they're overloading the system. And one day, that system that we use to do our lives, it will collapse.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Understand my point, Emery?
Yes, I see what you're saying. Now, there's difference between having channels, because I have about 5 channels, but I also have content on them channels, and 3 of them channels are over 1,000. You know, the other ones are at like 300 or 400. No, wait, I got the Doberman channel, that's 1,000. History and Things, that's 1,000. The Rustin channel at 2,000. And my Mob Rats 2 channel 1,000, and the 6,000 one I have. So I got 6 channels technically, but they're not alt accounts. I do have one alt account I use, Theon Greyjoy, but I don't really use it that much. But I do have 6 channels myself, but they're not just sock accounts that go around trolling people. They're real channels with content on it.
Okay, one question, Emery, because I'm learning, and being that you have more experience than me, you are my teacher. Okay, you have 6 channels. Can all of that be done on only one channel?
No.
Why?
Because this channel is this channel, and if I start like my Mob Rats channel is my Mob Rats one, my Rustin 757 channel is that channel. So I don't mix the content. I'm not gonna, with the channels, there's 2 different audiences and all that stuff.
Okay. I understand now. No, because don't forget, Emery, I am learning from my nephew. Because you have more experience. You have much more experience than me.
But you are right, though. Your point is right, though. People with 30 or 40 alt accounts dropping messages and doing messed up stuff, yeah, that's going to overload things and not be good.
See, because this is just my opinion. Because if we YouTubers misuse this system one day could collapse. And if it collapses, we cannot go on the air.
Yeah, true.
See, here in Puerto Rico, we're having a lot of problems with with our electricity. Why? Because the system is an old system from the 1940s. From the 1940s. Let me tell you something briefly, Emery.
Okay.
Here in Puerto Rico, some of the electricity that I receive is still produced in these large, what I call large. It's like a big gigantic witch bowl from the Wizard of Oz with boiling water, and the boiling water, when it generates, it makes electricity. That's an old system.
Oh wow.
Yeah. See, here in Puerto Rico, just let's say out of our electrical system, 80% is from the is from the rock age, and only 20%. Our electrical system, it's a very slow process. It's getting modernized, but very slowly. So we're having a lot of blackouts because we produce electricity like if it was the 1940s.
Are
So
they gonna
when,
update that? Are they gonna update it or something?
yeah, they're updating it, but very slowly. It's too slow. But but the example that I am trying to bring like a metaphor. I am trying to tell everyone on YouTube, please do not misuse the system, because the system could collapse. Like an example, like thank you for the explanation you gave, that you have 6 different topics, so you have 6 different channels, no problem. But people making IDs, different IDs, just to create problems on YouTube, you're misusing the system by
Yeah.
doing that. The people that do that, you see, right now, I'm Edwin Jimenez, and I'm Edwin Jimenez forever. I would never make another avatar, the Hulk. The Hulk. No, I'm not the Hulk. I'm Edwin Jimenez. But there's a lot of people that are an example. There's a lot of people that are Edwin Jimenez, but they make an avatar that's called Superman.
Yeah.
See, that to me, that's unacceptable. And I'm gonna send a message also. Since I've had the channel, since I had the channel, 2 or 3 or 4 people have come in the channel, and I just want to tell you that I know who you really are. But I'm not going to divulge. I'm not going to divulge their identities, Emery, because I have some honor and I have some integrity in my heart. But they do not fool nobody. I know who they are. You see, no matter no matter how many avatars they create, at least I know who you are. So they're not fooling anyone, Emery. They're just wasting their time. You know what it is? In order to make a false avatar, you have to go through a process, and these people waste their time on that. Uh, there's a person that has over 30 IDs. Unbelievable.
Wow.
You know how much time and energy that took? And the only purpose that person has, to create problems on YouTube.
Yeah.
So if they have that mentality, you know what that tells me?
And no
Wow,
good.
their personal life must be a disaster.
Well, that's a great point. People that are on here doing all that stuff, their social life must be a disaster. They must have no social life, no friends in real life. It must be really depressing for them to constantly make up names of people's families and try to torture people. Like, I get fun stuff, that's no problem. But when you're being malicious and copying people's family members and all that, it's really disgusting.
And in reality, and in reality, nephew, they're not fooling anyone. Mostly everyone knows who they are.
Yeah, writing, spelling, all that.
Yeah, they're not fooling. They're not fooling anyone. And also this point too. And this is for everyone. I am not. I am not referring to anyone in particular. I repeat, YouTube has over 2 billion users. If anyone feels that I'm talking about them, well, you must control your ego. You must control your ego because I'm speaking in general. Everyone on YouTube, be honest, be yourself. You don't have to lie. Be honest.
Again.
Just be yourself, and people will like you
Well,
if you are honest.
I
Not
get
everyone.
satire. Like, I get
Uh,
satire. Like, satire is one thing. Like, when I started my channel, I told people I was from South Dakota, Little Italy, which don't even exist. I told them I had one arm. They knew I was joking. It's satire. I wasn't coming out saying I'm the coolest in the world. I have all this money, and I'm not talking about nobody specifically. A lot of people do this on YouTube in all genres. They come out and try to, I don't know, portray something that they never could be, something they want to be, or live vicariously through these fake characters they make up. That's very pathetic. Very pathetic.
So, Marie, the message to end this topic, the message to everyone. This is for everyone. Be honest. Like right now, I'm bold. I'm bold.
Me too.
I am bold. When I got married, Emery, when I got married in 1977, I had beautiful hair. I had beautiful hair. My wife accepted me with beautiful hair, but I don't have any hair anymore. But my wife didn't say, okay, you don't have hair anymore. Goodbye. We're getting divorced. No, she's still with me. So that means that with hair or without hair is the same. The most important thing, be honest. Be honest, because the truth, Emery, no matter how much you lie, the truth always comes.
It sure does.
The truth comes. Look, it's the truth, and the truth has the key, Emery. I don't have to open the door.
That's why That's why I never come out here and lie about things or nothing. I always tell the truth on things. I don't lie. Because if you lie, you're just going to cover it up with another lie, and eventually you're going to get caught in them lies. It all comes out in the wash. Yeah, Mikey, you read my mind. It all comes out in the wash. Mikey's right.
Emery, remember the story that I told about the two employees? That one employee lied that his mother was sick, and then the other employee, he got drunk and he made love to a woman that he met, but at least he was honest.
Yeah.
And the other one lied about his mother. You see, and the one and Emery, the one that got drunk. The one that got drunk on Granny's White Lightning. The one that got drunk on Granny's White Lightning, 500 proof, and I think they slept they slept in the street underneath a car. He was the one that got the Oscar because he was honest.
No, you're right, but honesty, but Granny's white light.
Yeah. The guy that got drunk, he came out. He said, "Listen, I'm drunk. I'm drunk. I made love to another drunk woman, and we are now married and we're gonna have kids."
The little baby
Okay.
comes out with a nip. The little baby comes out with some schnarps.
Yeah, yeah. But the most important thing is everyone be honest, because the truth, and to be clear, the truth does not knock. The truth just comes in.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
True.
Okay. This is the last topic, Emery. This
Okay.
is the last topic. And the most important topic. We must respect women. We must respect women. I'm just going to make a comment, and I want Emery, I want you to give, I want your opinion on this.
Okay.
Check this out. And this I have seen on YouTube. Some men on YouTube, and that is dangerous. They get obsessed with women,
Yeah, they're
and
called
they.
incels.
I'm sorry.
They're called incel beta males. They're guys that probably can't get a date or whatever the problem is. They get obsessed with women. Either they stalk them or they harass them. It's a sickness, but there's a lot of sick men out here on this thing.
Let me tell you, Emery. There are some, and I'm talking in general, that are totally. I'm not going to mention the names of. I'm not going to mention the name of the women being harassed because that's going to create more problems. And I'm not gonna mention the names of the harassers because we all know who they are. And to the women that are being harassed, this is a message from Uncle Edwin. Don't waste your time responding to them on YouTube. Don't waste your time debating them. Go again. I'm going to repeat it a million times. If you, distinguished woman, that deserve all our respect, because women deserve all our respect. It doesn't matter, regardless, because only God has the right to judge, and especially a woman. Women are sacred. That's what I was taught, and that's what I believe until the day that I die. All women are sacred. All the women that are being harassed on YouTube, do not waste your time arguing. Do not waste your time complaining. Do not waste your time debating with the person, sending them messages from channel to channel. Go, please do it. Go to your nearest police department. File a complaint. Again, I repeat, in every precinct in the United States of the Great America, in all 50 states, including Puerto Rico, which is a U.S. territory, in every police precinct, there is a cyber unit. All you have to do is go and file a complaint and make sure that complaint goes to the court. Emery, here in Puerto Rico, I'm going to explain the way it is in Puerto Rico. If I insult a woman, all the woman has to do is pick up the phone and make a complaint. And if I live in Puerto Rico and she knows that I live in Puerto Rico, I'll be arrested in 1 hour. And that is guaranteed.
Yeah, over here too. I agree with you. I think the women on YouTube who are being harassed and stalked should file a complaint. And there's one woman who did, and God bless her for it. you can't take people's social security numbers and do mean things like that.
And let me say, Emery, and also the men, if you are harassed, go and make a complaint. It's going to end up anyway in the police. It's going to end up anyway, and this is not the mafia. This is not the mafia. We are legally, we are law-abiding citizens until we violate the law.
Well, I don't know if you remember when the man stalked me. I don't know if you were watching back then, about a year ago, where this guy, he was from my area. I guess he found a channel and he listened to them, and they told him to go find me, take pictures, and stalk me. And the guy tried to do it. And he tried to go look for me up at the feast and stuff. And then he came to find me at the local store, and I beat him up. I had to beat him up because I'm not going to let nobody come and stalk me and do that. I don't like that stuff. I think it's very weird. Very weird. And for me personally, I'm not a gangster or nothing like that. But the way I was raised, I'm not going to call the police on the guy. I'm just going to punch him in the nose. But I believe women should, and straight edge people who didn't grow up a certain way should call the police.
Okay, but nephew, and now I will be the uncle. Nephew, let's give thanks to God. Let's give thanks to God and the Holy Mother Virgin Mary that everything turned out well. That everything turned out well for you, and yeah. I give thanks to God for that. But I
prayed to God that night that everything went well. You know, God forbid somebody got hurt, went to jail, anything could have happened.
Right. But that also could turn out bad for you also.
It could, and you're right. But there's just certain things that I don't know. I
understand. No,
if I let him get away with it, everybody would try to bully me.
Right. No. I understand completely. I understand you completely. I understand. And that time when that happened in Angel's
yes.
In Miss Angel's channel. That night, if I'm not mistaken. I went on the panel like for 5 minutes, and I told you, Emery, do not go there. Remember?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Because the thing is, and this is reality. You could have lost your life.
I know.
You could have lost, and the other guy also. So the best, what I'm trying to say, and I understand what you're saying, and I respect. What you and I respect what you're saying, because I was brought up and raised exactly like you. The only thing is in a different year, but it's the same thing. But the message that I want everyone to at least save it. You don't have to agree with me. No one has to agree with me. Just save it in your wallet. What happened to you, Emery, and may God always bless you and always keep you safe. But it could have gone wrong.
Very true. I wish it never happened. I wish it didn't have to happen. But you're right. It could have went really wrong for either one of us, or anything could have happened. You're absolutely right.
And that same person that you knocked out, that person could have gone to a police precinct, but being that he started it, but you hit him, you could have had problems in court. Understand my point?
Oh, I understand. Comprende, Gabi.
Okay.
And
so
right.
This is very important. and now I'm speaking like a father and a grandfather and a responsible uncle. If you are being harassed on YouTube, it could be a woman, it could be a man. Please go to your nearest police department. Make a formal complaint. Now listen to what I'm saying. Once you make a formal complaint, once it is written in the police department will give you a copy of that complaint that you are making. If the person that is harassing you shows up shows up to your house, shows up to your neighborhood, being that you have that complaint, you can kick his ass. Because when it goes to court, judge, I made the complaint, I was responsible. This individual is invading my privacy. So I knocked him out. The judge will say, no problem. You are free to go. You, mister, they give him a fine and maybe a more severe punishment. Understand, Emery?
Yes, I get it.
See, everyone. If someone is look, I've heard an individual say, I'm going to your house and we're gonna protest in front of your house. No, that's illegal. Emery, I cannot. This is just an example because this will never happen. Because you are my nephew. Emery,
Yep.
I cannot go to your house and have a protest in front of your house. It's illegal. I'm disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
Because this is the way it works. If I want to protest against you, and this is the way it is in all the states, according to the information I have, if I am going to protest someone, I have to go to the police department to get a permit. That's the way it is in Puerto Rico. Let's say that you lived in Puerto Rico, and you lived in the Doberman neighborhood. That's the Doberman neighborhood. I go to the police, an example, and I say I want a permit because I'm going to protest in the Doberman neighborhood. You know what the policeman is going to tell me? I'm sorry, sir, but that's a private residence area. You cannot protest there. You can protest legally. You can protest near, like let's say around 5 blocks away. Understand my point?
Yes. Yes.
So that person, that individual that is telling the people to go to a certain house and to do a protest, you cannot do that. That's, Emery, if I stand in front of your house and I start shouting, Emery, 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 the cops are going to come and they're going to arrest me because I am disturbed.
Someone would call the cops for disturbing the peace.
I'm sorry?
Someone would call the cops for disturbing the peace.
That is, look, nowadays, we're talking 2023. Everyone has a cell phone. If you don't call the cops, someone else is going to call the cops, and it's going to end up in the cops anyway. And and check this out. And the one that started the problem, you see here on YouTube, and this is reality, the loudest one, the one that everyone thinks is the toughest, that is the weakest.
Yeah.
Because when you are, listen to me carefully, everyone, because I grew up in the streets of the South Bronx. The quietest one, the one that never talks, the one that never flashes, the one that's invisible, that is the toughest one. The one that is the loudest, the one that shows off, the one that says, I am the greatest, I am the most handsome, I am this, I am that. That is a nothing. That is the coward.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, Emery, when I was a young kid in the Bronx, there was a kid, wow, his mouth was bigger than his body.
I knew kids like that too.
His mouth was bigger than his body. He was always talking. He really talked. He talked, real fantasy. You know what happened? One day they called his number.
They called
Because people that are like that, one day they called the number.
Yeah.
Hey, tough guy, you a tough guy? You're the guy that has the big mouth? You're the guy that shows off? Time to pay the price.
Oh, people don't get it. There's always someone tougher than you. I don't care who you are, how tough you think. There's always someone tougher than you. There's always someone smarter, more clever. And I can't stomach show-offs and big talkers. I've known people like that too. And all those big, we call them spaccones in Italian. All those big cacchiones and spaccones always look like fools in the end, and they get their card pulled. They call their number, as you say.
Nephew, the loudest one.
Remember you said.
Go ahead, Emery. I'm sorry.
Remember you said about humility and like having some humility. People like that don't have it.
Right. And always. And this is the law of the South Bronx, 1955. The loudest one. The one that shows off. The one the one that self-worship themselves like the greatest thing on earth. They are the biggest cowards. Emery, they're the biggest cowards.
Yeah, it always usually comes to that. Yeah.
The one that you look. Here you have the perfect example. And I mention him with the utmost respect. Because when I was a young kid, he was the master of New York City. Don Carlo Gambino, a little man, a little skinny man, an old grandfather, very quiet, never flash anything, very humble, very simple. Look how simple he was.
Yeah.
He controlled everything. He was the Don Corleone of New York City. That is reality. That is part of history.
The same with Raymond Petriarca. Raymond was very low key. He didn't live in big flashy houses, big flashy cars.
Right.
Sit out there in his shorts and his shirt on beach chairs they would just hang out there. He wasn't a big flashy guy or nothing like that. And he was an old school guy too.
And look, and Marie, and look at the way Don Carlo died. God bless his memory. He died in his house in 1976. He died watching a Yankee game. He got a heart attack, but watching the Yankee game.
Same with Raymond. Raymond died a free man with his girl. He died in his girlfriend's house on Simmonsville Avenue in '84. In bed watching TV. I don't know what they were watching, but in bed with his girlfriend watching TV. He passed away from a heart attack in '84.
And let me tell you, Murray, when Don Carlo, to be clear, I want to be clear because a lot of people misunderstand sometimes what I say. I never met Don Carlo, never. I always saw him on the news once in a while, but he was always quiet, and he was just to me, he was just a nice old man. And let me tell you, I have studied history, mob history. And let me tell you, he told Mr. Joe Colombo, may God bless his memory. He told Mr. Joe Colombo, he said, Joe, you cannot be involved in protesting in front of the FBI offices with Italian flags. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let someone else do that.
Yeah.
Let someone else do that. But he did not listen to Don Carlo. Don Carlo told him like 2 or 3 times, but he didn't listen. So we all know what happened to Mr. Joe Colombo. May he rest in peace. But he was warned not to do that, Emery.
Yeah, you don't want to bring attention. I can see if he was an Italian store owner or nothing, but if you're really a member of a secret society, you shouldn't be doing that. It's a recipe to get killed, especially when someone like the old man tells you to back off and you don't listen. Well, you should know what's coming. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out.
Right. So Emery, the most important point, and I want Emery, I want you to send a message to all the women on YouTube, but it's your opinion and you say what's in your heart. Go ahead, Emery.
Well, I would tell the women on YouTube, be careful. Don't make friends with nobody. Don't give your number out to nobody. Don't trust none of these people, man or woman. I don't care how cool you think they are, how good you get along with them in the chats. Don't trust none of them. And if somebody is threatening you, putting your information out, weird things like that, go to the police or sue them, whatever you have to do. But don't be a victim and take it. Fight back. and like I said, hide who you are. Don't tell people who you are. Don't give your numbers out. Don't be so trusting. This is not like a little fake world. This is the real world, and there's bad people out here. And it just happens you're gonna find more bad people than good people. So don't be so trusting and don't be so friendly with everybody and stuff like that, because you will regret it. I've seen it happen a million times on here. I've been on here for years. I have over 6 channels. I've been in every community from the Corey Feldman community to all these different things. And I've seen people just screw themselves over by trusting people. It's the worst thing you can do.
Would you like to add, Emery, would you like to add anything else?
Oh, no, that's it right there. Hold on, I got to answer one thing.
Okay. All I have to say to the distinguished ladies with the utmost respect, and when I talk to the ladies, the way that I was raised, Emery, I kneel down to the women. I kneel down to the women. You know why I kneel down to the women, Emery? Because they have the gift that God gave them, the gift of life. You know what it is to carry a human being inside your stomach for 9 months? That is a miracle of God.
Oh, no, I believe we should respect women without a doubt. But I do believe if a woman is badgering you or, let's say, slandering you, I believe in giving it right back and sticking up for yourself. But at first, if they're nice people, respect them all, but never threaten the women or nothing like that. But I believe if you're on YouTube, you have the right to debate or argue, but to be polite about it and not be disrespectful or nothing like that. Or ever make threats or anything like that.
Nephew, I respect your opinion, and I want everyone to hear the opinion of Emery. But in my opinion, this is just my opinion, but I respect Emery, and I still love Emery like my nephew.
Oh, yeah, me and Edwin can disagree, and that's why no matter we could disagree on a bunch of stuff. I'll always love him and stuff like that. But we can agree to disagree on some things. Most things right. I agree with Edwin on. 99% of the things I agree with Uncle Edwin with, and I admire him.
But in my case, if a woman badgers me, I buy more roses and I buy more chocolates. Yeah, let's take an example, Emery. This is an example, but this is only my case only. Let's say a woman says, Edwin, you are an asshole, and I curse you 100 times, and may you burn in hell. You know what I do? Give me 24 roses and give me the best chocolates, and we're going to the jewelry store to buy you a diamond ring.
That's good. Well, like I said, I would only if someone was really slander, if somebody just said I think he's an idiot, I wouldn't even respond. You know, I'm talking about if somebody was really slandering me and stuff. Would I get nasty? No, but would I defend myself and fight right back? Yeah, but I would never do anything mean or nasty to people.
Hey, Anne-Marie, check this out. A woman tells me, Edwin, I am going to kill you, and I am gonna cut your balls off. You know what I say?
Lorena Bobbitt, stay away.
No, breakfast at Tiffany's, and then I'll put on the Frank Sinatra songs. Emery, make a give out a roll call.
All right.
And give your closing statement and your closing Our Father and Hail Mary.
Okay. All right, let me see the chat. We got Mikey. What's up, Mikey? I seen him commenting. He seems like a real good dude. Amber Alert, how you doing? Kid Rock, Damn It Mandy, Crazy Purple Lady. Who else do we have in here? B1. Who else? I can't go up on my thing no more.
Let me see. Okay, I got Mandy. Thank you. Miss Purple Kirby Lady. Thank you. Kid Rock. Thank you. Miss Nitro. Thank you. Okay, Amber Alert. Thank you. Bella Rose. No, Kid Rock. Thank you. Amber Alert. Thank you. Kid Rock. Mandy. Mikey. God bless Mikey and his wife and family, and a big hug for Mikey. Mikey, the next time I want you on the panel.
Want me to say a prayer now, Uncle Edwin?
Wait, hold on for a second. Carol Quill, thank you. Okay. Wait.
Mike
I don't want.
Just popped in. Hi, Mike.
Okay. Who popped in right now?
Mike Wall says hi.
Okay, Mike Wall of Iron Wall Works. The best. Always the best walls. Okay. Brooklyn Bounce. Bounce and Ladybug.
Yeah, he's good people. He's a 9/11 hero, you know. 9/11.
Okay. And Emery, we have Cletus.
Yeah.
Cletus. That name sounds like from the Roman era, right?
Yeah. Cletus Maximus.
Right. Hail Cletus.
Hell, Cletus. Oh man, I have some laughs when I come on here.
Emery, Cletus, and you are I, Claudius.
That was a great movie you turned me on to. That and the other movie, St. Francis of Assisi. Those were good movies you turned me on to.
And we also have Emery, American Made.
Yeah, he's a good guy too. Another good person.
And we also have Cantalupe.
Cantalupe Jones, another class act too.
And we also have B1, and we also have Mob Rats 1.
Oh yeah, both of them are real good guys. B1's actually another hero who fought for this country. God bless him. And Mob Rats 1's a good pal of mine. He's a real good dude.
Okay, Emery. This is
I'll say the Lord's Prayer real quick.
Wait.
All right.
Emery, hold on.
Okay.
One question. I've always asked this. What's the difference between, because one says Mob Rats 1, and then we have Mob Rats 2. What's the difference between 1 and 2?
One's one guy and one's another guy. I think they used to be partners on Instagram.
Okay,
think-
wait. Hold on, Emery. Oh, wait. I don't want to miss anyone. Okay, Emery. Do your closing statement and then do the Hail Mary and the Our Father.
All right. Well, I'll start off with them, then I'll do my closing statement. Our Father, out in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins. And forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women. Blessed the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Hold on, I'm getting hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you clearly. Go ahead,
Hello?
Emery. Go ahead, Emery.
Oh, I can't hear Edwin no more.
Wait.
Hey,
Wait.
let me unmute, see if that's it. Hold on a minute.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me now, Emery? You must have pressed something.
Oh, it's my Wi-Fi going in
Okay.
and out.
Oh,
I'm
I
sorry.
can hear you clearly, Emery.
Yeah, now
Can
I can
you?
hear you. I couldn't before,
Okay.
though.
So, Emery, do your closing statement.
All right. Closed statement is thanks for having me on. God bless everybody in the chat, and yeah, people should respect women and not make threats to them and attack them. That's crazy. Uh, it's just not good. My Wi-Fi is really bad right now. I can't even see the chat.
Emery, as always, this is your channel. Thank you. Thank you for helping me. Uh, because if it wasn't for you, I would only have one subscriber. So thank you.
Oh, that's not true, Uncle Edwin. People subscribe because they like you and they respect
Thanks.
you. And thank you for always being there for me and sticking by me and being a pal and a good uncle. I couldn't thank you enough. It's always an honor to come up here with you. And God
Uh,
bless everybody. And hail
and,
the Holy Queen Mary, Mother of God.
Marie, and this is my closing comment to all the ladies that want to kill me. Dinner at the Waldorf Saturday, and dancing until the sun comes up.
All right,
Well,
thanks
God
for
bless.
having me on, Uncle Edward. I'm going to jump off. Thanks for having me
Okay,
on.
okay, Emery. Thank you. God bless you, Emery. God bless you. God bless everyone. God bless everyone. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it from my heart. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And may the Holy Mother, the Virgin Mary, bless you all. And please, gentlemen, let's be gentlemen. Respect women. If you have a problem with a woman, with a woman, just keep your mouth shut. Take it as a man. Suck it up. Suck it up and keep your mouth shut. That's the way I was brought up. And that's the way it should be. A man that fights with a woman, it looks horrible. It looks horrible. Don't do that. If you want to be a real man and be a man of honor, suck it up. Take it and just lower your head and walk away. And may God bless the ladies. God bless the ladies. Good night, everyone. Good night. And God bless all women, all of them.